Kia ora, no mai hara mai to Darkness to Light, inspiring and courageous conversations with survivors of childhood abuse and trauma. Koe nei te mihi, kia koe, kia koutou hoki, e mātakitaki mai nei, e hono ana I tēnei pō. Ko ai tēnei, he uri tēnei nā Ngāti Kaungunu ki te Wairoa Tamatarangi, tūhoi tama kaimoana hoki e mihi atu ana ki a tātou. Kia koe, no mai hara mai, Darkness to Light. Here on the IHI platform, Intuitive Healing Intelligence. I'm Sista B, Benita, your host tonight, and bringing you from darkness to light. I want to do a big shout out to Protect Our Whakapapa, who is hosting this event also, and our kōrero, kaupapa for the week, he mana tō te kupu. Use your voice wisely, and what more profound, inspiring way can we share and use our voices by sharing our experiences and stories, real life stories of each and every day people, just like you and me, our stories also have and could be the key to unlock somebody else's prison. So, koene te mihi I tēnei pō kia Kat, no mai hara mai. I'm going to bring her on with me shortly. But I just want to, again, welcome you here to share this time with us as we listen to, discuss, unpack, and hear the very real voices of our whānau and people. And tonight it's a pleasure to bring you Kat, who I'll bring on right now. So no mai hara mai, Kat. Welcome. Kia ora. It is lovely to have you here tonight with us on IHI. No mai hara mai. Kia ora, sister, and welcome. Good to have you with us tonight. Do you want to share a little bit about who you are with us?
Yeah, absolutely. Kia ora, everybody. My name is Kat. I'm 47 years young. I always say young because I'm still young. I'm from a little place, originally from Featherston. And so it's just a little country town at the bottom of the Rimataka Hill, where I was raised with 9 siblings, 9 sisters and 2 brothers, my mum and dad. So, yeah, I grew up a little country girl, no shoes, no ears, all the rest.
No shoes and no ears. Does that go together?
Yeah.
Welcome. And I know that we've spoken together, and I've had a chance to listen to part of your sharing that we're going to cover tonight, but I just do want to thank you so much for having the courage to come and share your journey with us, journey in life. It is really inspiring. You're an incredible wahine toa, and it is my privilege to have you share with us tonight. I'm going to keep saying that because it is amazing. So we're here on the IHI platform, Intuitive Healing Intelligence, with the intention to bring light to stories, journeys of survivors of childhood abuse and trauma. So our conversations can get really personal and really deep. So I just want to let you know, if you're listening, there will be some numbers of support. If you're feeling like, these conversations are triggering you, please take responsibility for that and make sure that you contact somebody, or if it is really too much, there's some numbers that come across the bottom I can pop up during the conversation, but do take responsibility as we go through this conversation. So kia ora anō, nei te mihi. Thank you everybody who's joining us. Thank you. Ngā mihi. So sister, we're going to just do a little bit of a step back and walk through your journey in life. So tell us your first memory, or guess your experience of abuse and trauma. And we're just going to do a bit of a time frame, so I'm just going to ask you to step back for a little bit and share with us your journey and what that was like for you.
Absolutely, sis. I remember I was very, very young at the time, because there's this particular photo. I don't have it on me at the moment, but it's always in my mind. And I'm a flower girl, and I'm dressed in this beautiful flower girl dress with a beautiful flower piece, and I'm smiling, and I've got this colourful t-shirt underneath. And I remember one of the ladies saying to me, "Oh, what have you got that shirt under there for? You can see through it." So it was kind of like ruining the beautiful dress that I had on, because you could see through it. But now that I think about it, I was wearing that because I knew it was see-through, and I didn't want, I thought that people would be able to see through it. And
Right.
so from that experience, it made me realize that I was trying to cover up, from a very young age. But I remember being around 5 to 6 at that time when I first experienced sexual abuse.
Mm,
Yeah.
5 or 6.
Yeah.
What did you take from that? So you just had that kind of feeling, and then what? Then what next? What else happened? What happened along the way?
What happened was the person who did the molestation was my sister's husband, and she's a lot older than what I am. So he was the main perpetrator, who would, because that, they were a young married couple, and they were living with us in our home and everything like that. So it was like the perfect opportunity on a daily basis to be able to take advantage of me, and mainly taking place in outside in the garage or in the bathroom. And because he was, well, they never expected that he would be like that. Well, you don't expect anyone to be like that, but he took it for advantage. Yeah. And so, sorry if I know this is the first time I'm saying this, my kōrero for the first time, and it is very raw, and I wanted to be as raw as I can and be authentic. And yeah, and so he had every opportunity that he had, he took that, and he abused me.
So we're talking from the age of around 5 or 6, right? On a regular basis.
Yeah.
Yeah, ongoing.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
advantage of abuse. If we just take a moment and stop and pause there, and I just want to say how freaking incredible you are right now in the power of your own truth and your own authentic voice to be sharing this. And I just want you to know that and feel that and acknowledge that,
Yes.
amazing, incredible. Ngā mihi kia koe. It is just such a powerful position that you're in, and incredible. Thanks, Paula, for saying that. Incredible. Taylor, Sissy, Trishy's here sharing this too.
Oh.
I just do want to say she did have that amazing shirt that you gave her on earlier tonight, smashing shit up, sis. So did have that on. And right now she is truly smashing shit up. So I just wanted to hold the space there a moment and acknowledge you for that sharing. So ngā mihi anō kia koe. Incredible stance, and what more fitting way than sharing the kaupapa for this week, which is he mana tō te kupu, for protect our whakapapa, and that is about using our voices wisely. So thank you for being here on this platform with me to use your voice to help not only you release this from your being, but also, like I said, this could be the key that unlocks somebody else's prison. So really appreciate you being on the show with me tonight. Blinking amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's why I thought it was a perfect opportunity to come on here so I can share my kōrero and help someone else to unlock their prison, because at 47 years old, sometimes reverting back to a little girl. It's like you're a grown woman, you know, you're a little girl in a grown woman's body. And by doing this, I'm releasing a lot of mamai from that trauma. And also for those that have already, that had no voice before, and
Yeah.
also for those in the future, excuse me.
Mm-hmm. This is
Yeah.
your time, sister. You do whatever you like, however you want, right now. I'm just honoured that I can share the space with you tonight. Yeah. So, wow. Then we're gonna just move on a little bit. So this was ongoing for how many years, months, years? Where did we?
Quite a
What
few
happened?
years.
Go. Yeah.
Yeah. Quite a few years, because once they left the home, they moved into their own home, but it was still in the same town. And because my sister, my older sister, she was like a mother to me, and my baby sister, she would always come and get us for the holidays. We would be
Yeah.
there a lot, and we really loved her. And unfortunately, you know, that love came at a price, and that price was through her husband, you know, doing what he did. Um, but because of our love for our sister, we went with her. You know, she spoiled us. You know,
Mm.
she made us, like, she dressed us up, and, you know, because I was quite a tomboy, I was pretty rough and rugged. But when I was around her, she always made sure I looked pretty, you know, beautiful dresses, hair done up, and, you know, and then we'd go outside in the mud and wreck it, you know, and she didn't care about that. You know, she just thought, oh, well, you know, I made you look pretty, and look at you now, you're gone and rip your nice dress or whatever. But yeah, some really good memories. Yeah, but unfortunately paid a big price for that. Yeah. So
How did it stop? When did it stop?
I would have been at least 13 when it did stop.
Mm.
But then as I got a little bit older, he even still tried to make some advances towards me, and I thought, what the heck, you know? So it was off and on to at least I was about 13 years old.
Mm.
Yeah, so quite a long time frame that it was happening.
And tell us
Yeah.
about your living situation, because I know that you went back and forth a few times to different places and you know, where you were living. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, yeah, because I didn't want to be at home, because my parents were like, well, why are you playing up? Why is this happening? So I would go over to my neighbours. They became like my second family. So I would spend a lot of time at my neighbours or with friends or anywhere, just to get away from it all. And I just felt safe being away. But I couldn't really say anything to my parents at the time, because I thought, you know, I couldn't really understand it myself. And
Mm.
I thought, okay, if I just stay away, then nobody's going to get hurt. I'm not going to get hurt, or I don't have to tell my parents or anything like that. So I spent quite a few, quite a bit of my time at other houses, or, you know,
Mm.
I just didn't want to be at home.
And that's a kind of I've heard that a lot as a common theme amongst
Yeah,
survivors. The conversations that we've had recently, that, you know, we'd adopt other families or we'd always be hanging out there somewhere else, and it was just one of the survival strategies that to keep us safe or away for a moment. Um, were there other things as a result that happened to you during your journey? Was it just not just, that was a terrible thing to say, was it, you know, were there other events of abuse? Did it roll into something else? Yeah.
mm, yeah, because he wasn't the only person that did sexually abuse me. It happened on a few other occasions. And then it also affected the way I had relationships with friends or even partners. I mean, man, it really affected my relationships quite deeply. And I think that's why I never really, it was like I'd get into a relationship with someone and then I'd sabotage it because I thought, this is too good to be true. This is too good to be true. And yeah, I've ruined quite a few relationships because of the behaviour and what's happened and how it affected me throughout my life.
Oh, thanks, Kat. I just want to touch on the times that you've tried to express or tell somebody that there's abuse happening or there's something happening to you, because obviously we don't have the words to articulate what's happening. Sometimes we do. There might be people around us that we've tried to tell, or maybe school or other places. Were there times when you shared your story and what was happening to you with others?
Yes, I have. I've been to the police. I went to the police because, you know, I ran away from home. I was brought back. Then I would take off again, and then so because it was such a small town, you know, the police knew who we were and everything like that. So I remember coming. I'd taken off, and I remember the police picking me up. And all he said to me was, you know, your parents are being worried about you. You need a good kick up the bloody ass. And he wanted to take me back. And I said, I don't want to go back there. And he goes, well, why don't you want to go back there? Your parents are worried about you. And then so he took me back to the station and I told him what had happened. Nothing eventuated from that. Nothing eventuated. He took me home. But yeah, that was the first instance that I went to the police, and I thought to myself, well, if the law, who are meant to be protecting me, aren't listening, and my parents, who don't know what's going on at that particular time, are like, what the heck's going on with this girl? And so they just thought, okay, well, I got sent away to live with some caregivers in Couldnt. And I was there for a while, and then I would have been about 14 then. And then I went to the school counsellor there, and I said to him, well, this is what's been going on. So I told him what had happened. And he goes to me, well, since you're under the age of 16, we have to let your caregivers know about what you've told us. Oh man, I was shit scared because I knew what the repercussions would be. So that day I finished school, and then I saw the van and they picked me up, and I knew straight away. That they had been told. And I just remember going back to my sister's house, and we were all there, and there were these adults there questioning me, and all they kept saying was, why are you making up lies? Why are you making up lies about this good man, good Christian man? So that's another battle I came up with. And then I said, but so-and-so knows about it as well. And they turned around and said, no, it didn't happen to me, because they were scared. They were only young. I know that now, that they were too scared to tell the truth because they were put in this position. And so then after that, everything just went downhill, and they sent me back, and they just sent me back to my parents. My parents were just...
The police service didn't believe you, took you back and said, stop playing up, you need to kick up the ass. School counsellor, you told them as well. And we're not just saying hinted at, we're saying you verbalised and told them exactly what was happening. So even when our kids are expressing it directly, telling people, there are adults that are still shutting the voice down, denying what's being said, making out that they're the ones lying, or why are you telling lies? How did you remain? And then what happened? Because that was that would have been totally devastating. As a woman now, when you think back to what was happening, and what was that, as a grown woman now, thinking about a 13, 14-year-old telling the school counsellor what was happening, what does that do for you now? What are you thinking? What are you feeling when you think about that?
I was very fearful, because I thought to myself, I'm going to be persecuted by my family. Nobody loves me. That's the first thing I kept thinking about, was nobody loves me. No one's protecting me. That's the first thing that came into my mind. Was like,
and what about, I want to bring you into the now. What about now, when you think of a 14-year-old, 13-year-old child telling their story? What do you have inside? Yeah, wow. What are you thinking now about that 13-year-old, 14-year-old?
Well, I just want to grab onto that 14-year-old and give her the biggest uppy and say, I will protect you. I will protect you. Yeah, that's how I feel now as an adult. And I after that had happened, they were like, okay, you're a troublemaker. You're going back to your mother's. And then I went to my mother's, and
I'm just going to hold it for a moment, because I'm going to bring up this comment so you can read it, okay? I think it's a beautiful comment, and I'm going to bring it up on screen. From Katie. While incredibly brave and strong sharing your story, I'm so sorry you weren't heard and were dismissed. We are hearing you now and deeply listening to your sharing. Thank you.
Oh, you're so beautiful. Thank you so much. That's all I wanted, was for someone to listen. That's all I wanted all those years. And I finally get to do it. I finally get to share, and say my truth. So thank you. Thank you for even being here. So I really do appreciate it. And so after that,
Just before we move on, give me 3 words, power words, that you want to share with that 13-year-old. Tell her, Kat, you are 3 power words. Go.
You're beautiful, you're courageous, and you're worth it. You are so worth it, girl. Yep. If only I'd heard those words when I was a kid, it would have made the world of difference. Yeah.
Awesome.
It would have made a big difference.
Bye. But like what Katie said, we're listening deeply now. We appreciate you sharing, because could be the key that unlocks somebody else's prison. Somebody else could be listening to this and saying, "Yeah, that's me," and I'm going to share my story. So once again, now I know there were other things that happened as you were going through life. You talked a little bit about relationships. And a couple of things, also other things around not sexual abuse, rape. Tell us what else happened, because we want to say it out for what it is, to say it all out there. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. Well, the first relationship that I ever had, I fell head over heels in love with this guy, and I was only young. I was only 15, and I thought, oh gosh, he's a nice guy, and I thought, okay, I'm going to go for it, because I actually had come over to Wellington for a year, and I came back, and so I ended up meeting up with this guy, and we were together for about 12 years. I married him, but in that relationship, because I was very, very young, he suffered from mental. He had depression. He was diagnosed with all these different things. So as a child, I was spending a lot of my time going back and forth to Poriru hospital, because he wasn't very well. He was very mumai. And so here I was again as a young teenager, giving up my childhood to be with this man, with the mamai, and spending most of his time over in Porirua Hospital. And it was a very abusive and volatile relationship, but I didn't think that, you know, what he was doing was wrong.
What was he doing?
He was physically abusive, mentally. My family know this. They've witnessed a lot of what has happened. It got to the stage where he ended up serving a little bit of time in jail.
Is that from what you did? From you?
Yeah, because I ended up in women's refuge.
Yeah,
and he ended up in one of the wards in Masterton Hospital. And so he tried to attack one of the nurses there. And so what they did was they ended up putting him in Ramataka prison.
Right.
But I can't remember how long he was in there for, but while he was there, it was like my escape. And I finally had the courage to leave the relationship that I was in. Yeah.
He got that bit of a break when he was in jail, just to, yeah. He just was strong enough.
Yeah, because the abuse was really on a daily basis, really, because I'd wake up in the middle of the night to him punching me or hitting me or whatever, and then I'd ring up my sister and say, oh, can you come and get me? I need you to come and get me. And then she'd come and get me, and I'll be at her house for like 24 hours, and then I'd go, oh, I really need to go back. I really love him. So my sister, one of my sisters, she spent a lot of time going back and forth, picking me up.
Just for clarity, just in case anybody thinks, love is not abusive. Love does not rape. Love does not verbally, emotionally, psychologically attack you. So if anybody, and I know that I've been through that experience too, but I love him. It's like, love does not do that. That is not an expression of love. So you are so, we're going through the conversation and I'm hearing you share this, and it's like this one thing after the other, and I know there's more, and they're just absolutely incredible. Thanks again for sharing with us. So relationship, rape in that relationship, or was it a separate occasion in the relationship? Violent, emotional, or everything, like
being held hostage in my relationship for at least a couple of days.
Held hostage in your relationship? Can you tell us a little bit about that? What do you mean? You're like, just couldn't leave your home? Or?
Just couldn't leave my home. He wouldn't let me leave because he barricaded me in the bedroom, and he was physically abusing me and sexually, raping me. And he barricaded me in the room and he wouldn't let me go. And so I just remember being there for a long period of time. He ended up getting arrested, but then I took him back. I kept taking him back. I don't know how many times I did it, but it was heaps of times. I just thought, no, he's going to change. I just kept thinking that he was going to change all the time.
It's a familiar, it is a familiar story and conversation that I've had with, survivors. It's like, but each time is different. So we might leave and we go back, but we never go back exactly the same as we were. And each one of those times is just another little bit of the step forward. You never go back to the same person. There is a journey. You are progressing, even though now when we think back, it's like, oh, how come I went back so many times? It's not going back. It's actually just the next part of the learning. Those are the learning steps. It's a really common theme that happens, that, we go back, oh, but I love him, but I want to go back, and then it happens again, and you leave again, and you go back just to test it out to see if he's changed, and it is common.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yes. Yeah.
you're
That's
not
so
there,
true.
you're not alone. You're not alone in that at all, sister.
Yeah. Yeah. So after that relationship, I still kept letters from him. I still have letters from him to this day.
Mm.
And that will be another thing that I will be getting rid of. I'll be able to finally get
You
rid
know
of
what
that.
you do?
Yeah.
You get a lighter and you just burn them and allow one by one. And what one strategy that you can use is like imagine that there is a ring of light right around you, and as you're burning it, the ring of light drops down over your body. You actually imagine this ring of light, of love, light, power, strength, resilience, and it drops down right over your body, right down to the ground, that ring of light, or the light of God, if you want to do it that way. And as that is dissipating, that strengthens the ring of light and cuts and clears also the energetic ties, the energetic emotional ties, as that letter is burning. It's very powerful.
It's
Yeah.
so true, sis, because I feel like I've been holding on to that. I haven't seen him for 20 years, and I'm still holding on to that. Yeah.
Cool. Now, next step, sister. Next step. So,
Yeah.
and then how did you? When was there a moment in time when you decided, that's it, I've had enough, never again, or was it?
Yeah. Wow.
What was the turning point?
Wow. Oh my gosh. Well, when my parents, I finally, my parents knew, some family members knew about the abuse, about everything that had happened, but yet no one spoke to me about it. Like, it was kind of like it happened, but it didn't happen. It was just like, okay, everything just goes back to normal. And that's what I couldn't understand, because I thought, why can't they talk to me, and why can't I talk to them about everything? Yeah.
There's an interesting thing around that, and I've thought about this myself, and I know how strong and stubborn I was and how in love I was. And I often think back to that time and I think, even if my mother or sisters or whoever said something to me, would I have actually done
Listen.
something? Was I ready to listen and to actually leave? Even if somebody said to me, I don't know, we know he's abusing you. Why don't you just, we can help you, we can support you. Would I have been ready to leave at that time? And I have to honestly say to myself, oh no, you would have just said they don't know him because he's not always like that. And I could hear myself with all the excuses and under the sun coming out. And so I don't think I would have been ready. It's a really personal thing. Nobody else, so I used to think about that too. And I was thinking, well, I wouldn't have listened anyway, basically. I would have said, why?
That's true. Yep, same here.
It's all in our own timing. It's all in our own timing. And I think
and then after that, I met, well, I'd known my daughter's dad for a very long time, and so we briefly were together, and we have a beautiful daughter, and we still have a really good relationship to this day. But coming from that abusive relationship into the new relationship, I treated him like crap. I was like, I questioned everything he did or would say. Yeah, it was like I became the abuser in the relationship. It was like, okay, I've been in this other relationship, now I've come into this new one, so I'm going to ruin this one too. And that carried on also into the other relationship. And now I've been with my partner for about 11 years now.
Wow.
My current partner, I've been with him for about 11 years. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. What,
Mm.
when have you ever faced or talked to your family members about this? When was the time when you got to say, to mum? Did you talk to mum
Mm.
or your sister? Have what's that relationship like now?
So, my sister and my mum have both passed.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister, she passed about 9 years ago now. The sister that her husband sexually abused me,
Yeah.
she passed about 9 years ago. And I had a fear of planes, I had a fear of planes, and I made myself get on that blooming plane because my sister didn't have very long to live. And so I got on that plane to Christchurch. I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? Whatever. I was just mixed emotions. And I hadn't
Mm.
seen her for such a long time. And I walk into the room, and my sister, at that stage when I saw her, she couldn't talk, but she could,
Right.
grunt or she couldn't talk. She wasn't verbal. And when I walked in, I remember my mum saying, "Oh, I'll leave you in the room with your sister. I'm going down for a smoke." So, other people went down and had a cigarette. And I went over to my sister and I looked at her and I said, "I hate seeing you like this, my sis. I love you.
Mm.
I hate seeing you like this." And I said, "I forgive you." And even though she couldn't verbally say anything back to me, I could just tell she was trying to say something to me, even though she verbally couldn't say it. And
Mm.
then not long after that, she passed away. I was holding her hand when she passed away. So that's, and this is another reason why I'm here, because it's all about the forgiveness.
Mm.
It's all about the forgiveness for me. It's not about getting revenge or anything like that. It's about forgiveness. And I believe deep down in my heart I have forgiven.
And when
Yeah.
did your sister find out? When did you have that conversation with her?
When did she find out that I had been abused?
Hmm.
13.
Oh,
I
so
was 13.
right,
Yeah.
right. And so you told your sister that it was happening.
Yeah. I told her because the school counsellor had
Right,
told
right.
them, and that
Yeah.
was the first time it came out. Was I was hang on, sorry, I was 14 because I was fourth born. So yeah, I was 14 years old when it actually came out, and that was the first and last time we ever spoke about it.
Until you
Um,
to see her when she was nearly dying.
yeah, and I'd never like mentioned it over the years. I just walked in, like when I did travel down there down south, it was never brought up. It was like, "Oh, hi sis, how are you?"
Yeah.
Nothing was brought up. Nothing was brought up from my mum. Nothing. It was just like walking into, it was like nothing happened, and that's why I just thought, oh, okay then, everything must be all right. So yeah, so it was never spoken of, not to me anyway, but I know that my sister had talked to my baby sister about it, but no one had ever talked to me about anything about the abuse.
And what about you and your mum's relationship? What happened with that? Where was she
It
and
was it was non-existent, really.
right.
Like I was kind of left to my own devices when it came to my mum, but I always loved her no matter what. So it was like the only approval that I was seeking from was my mum. I
Wow.
wanted to make her happy. I wanted to make her proud. I wanted to be this amazing kid, you know. But yeah, there was just no relationship. But there was also, I didn't hate her or anything, but the relationship was very non-existent. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was just nothing there.
And so is Mum still with us, or is she passed on too now?
She's passed on too. She passed on about a year after my sister. Yeah. And that's another point that I wanted to bring up too, is that I kept saying to myself, you know, when my dad dies, I'm gonna, you know, this is gonna happen. When my mum dies, this is gonna happen. When my sister dies, you know, I'm gonna come out and tell the truth. When he dies, I'm gonna come out and tell the truth. So it was like, and then I get to this point here now with me being with you. I'm thinking, why did I have to wait until they all died before I felt like I was like given permission to say my kōrero?
And when you ask yourself that question now, even if you don't know the answer, if you could pretend to imagine what the answer would be, what would it be?
The answer would be, I was scared. I think I was just thinking to myself, yeah, I'm gonna do this, but really I'm not.
Yeah.
I was very fearful because I was worried about what people would say, and because I had the mistrust from the police and from my family from the get-go, I was thinking, well, if they won't believe me, no one else is going to believe me. So unfortunately, I kept it under wraps for such a long time, and you know, and because of that whole ordeal, it affects your health mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally.
And tell us about the impact on your health, sister.
Wow. My health, yeah. I'm a cancer survivor. I was very, 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 very blessed to have my daughter. Because when I found out that I had cancer, they removed my ovaries, my uterus, everything, and my lymph nodes. And so that's why I would say I was very, very blessed to have at least given birth to one beautiful girl. So it has taken a huge toll.
You've just got to stop being so freaking amazing tonight, because you're just blowing my mind away at how incredible you truly are. Just cut that out, okay?
What did Joey say? Cut it out.
Cut it out, will you? Just cut it out. So
yes.
After all that, surviving huge obstacles in life, abuse, all of it from a young age, nobody believing you, you come to this point in life and goddamn, now she tells us she's also this cancer survivor. Just amazing. Just amazing. Thank you again.
You're welcome.
What can one say? You know, what can one say to this?
And I also remember too, I was 19 and I went back to the police again. And the second time, so I've been to the police twice about what had happened, and nothing. Absolutely nothing. So that's why I just gave up. I gave up on it all, because I thought, well,
you haven't actually given up, have you? Because here you are tonight telling your story.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah.
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 I'm going to put this comment up for you. Can you see that?
Gosh, sorry, Bano, I'm blind as a bat.
I'll read it. I'm going to read it to you. This is a quote from Trishy Taylor. Fucking superstar.
Oh, so are you, Trishy. Boom. Boom. Hashtag boom, you are, darling.
I'm just going to put another one up in here from Ricky Dobson. There's such power in this corridor. Your rawness and vulnerability is so appreciated. We see you, we hear you, we are holding space for you and your inner child. We acknowledge her too. Love you always, Auntie Kitty.
Oh, love you, Ricky. Oh, she's a beautiful soul. You're a beautiful girl.
Thank you. Here she goes. Boom, Taylor. Trishy. Right.
Boom.
All right, sister. What's been the positive or the power for you in having this space to share your kōrero, your life, your journey with us tonight?
I feel like that little girl has been given that chance to speak. And every week when I watched the kōrero, the lives on here, every week I was like, you need to get up there. You need to speak your truth. There's people out there that need to hear this. Just one person, if one person takes away something from this tonight, that's all it takes.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Our stories could be the key that unlocks someone else's prison.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And these are happy tears. Trishy, yeah. I know you'll be going, oh, come on, Kat. These are happy tears, Trishy, boom.
She said, you have claimed your power, my teddy bear.
Oh, gosh. You wait till I see you next time. I threw her over my shoulder last time and carried her down Mission Bay.
Awesome.
I'm going to do that again.
Have you got a message for anybody listening or for us in terms of what can we notice and be aware of for young people, children, when they're trying to speak their truth around situations for them, because children don't have the articulation to come out and say it. There's so much going on, so is there anything you want to share with us around that, what we might be able to do or notice or be aware of?
Yes. Is that to just just be aware of what your tamariki or what your young ones are trying to say to you. And it might even just be in their behavior, because with mine was like, if I did things wrong, if I went out, and the only time I got attention from my mother is if I did something wrong. So I thought, well, if it's bad attention, and if she sees that, then it's better than no attention. And that's something that I always remember. And I just want to encourage everyone, and those that are going through anything or have been through anything in their life, that your time will come where you will want to have your kōrero. I don't know when that is, only you will know. But it took me 47 years. I just want to give you all the awhi. I want to encourage you and give you the awhi that you are worth it. And if you are going through things in your life that are not right, then you will know what you have to do. And whānau, just be aware of how your tamariki may be acting, if they're acting out, or if they're spending too much time in their room, or if they're not at home, or I know that sounds like the average teenager, but there but there are, you know, can be some very underlining issues there that our teens are going through, our teen boys, our teen girls, or whatever. So I just want to give you that encouragement. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think we're coming to the time we're going to wrap it up, but I just want to just offer you time to, is there anything else that you wanted to share that we haven't covered tonight, or, you know, anything else? Just have a moment to think about that.
I think everything's been pretty well much covered, and I'd really like to say thank you to you, Sister B, for opening up this platform, because if you hadn't of, I don't think I would have been able to, I don't think I would have spoken up about what has happened to me. And I say that sincerely because, you know, if I hadn't have seen this come up on Facebook or whatever, I'd be still that little stuck girl that's, you know, hiding away from the rest of the world, just waiting to be acknowledged and waiting for someone to protect her and to give her, you know, the nod to say, you know, everything's okay. Let me offer you, let me come to you, because, you know, you are worth it.
So I want you to turn around and say that to her now again, just as we wrap up.
Yeah, girl, you are worth it, girl. You're courageous and you're beautiful. And, oh, you know what? I think emotionally I've lost 50 kgs.
Yeah.
Still working on the physical part, but yeah, I think I just lost 50 kgs emotionally.
And now I'm going to ask you just to say that, acknowledge that for yourself. So I am what?
I am beautiful, I'm courageous, and I am worth it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Totally are. Love you heaps.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on and sharing
too.
tonight. And I just want to do a big mihi to you and every single person that's been on in the weeks prior, because we are actually giving life to that saying, our stories are the key and have been the key, because like Kat said, if she didn't see the ones prior to this, she wouldn't be here tonight sharing her journey and her story and her life with us. So our stories are the key to unlocking someone else's prison, and tonight you are all a part of it. And Kat, big loves to you. Thank you heaps. And
I'm sorry, so to give a shout out to my daughter and my husband, because of the awhi that they've given me leading up to tonight. So I love them. I love them heaps.
Love you, daughter. Thank you, daughter. Thank you, husband, for sharing your beautiful mama and wife with us tonight. She's a powerhouse, and I know you know that, and I know you've been supporting her, and she has truly made a huge impact on many lives tonight. So, hei whakamutunga mā tātou, mā tāua, I just kamahi atu ki a koe te tuakana i te māreikura i te rangatira mō kōrero i te pō nei. Tūturu a whakamaua kia tīna, haumie huie, tai ki e. Thank you, Kat, so much. Good night, everybody.
Good night, whānau. Much love.
Yeah.
Marie.